Hello bookworms, it's Jade from Bedtime Bookworm and welcome back to my channel. This is the start of another reading vlog. So it has been about a week since my last update. Let's see, it is Sunday, December 6th. And it's time to update you on what I've been reading. I feel like I don't have a whole lot to update because I've been spending most of my time reading one book here. But first, let's talk about the book that I have finished. Some of you might already know my thoughts on this because I did include this book in my November wrap-up, and that is Kilman Creek by Rachel Caine, which is the second book in the Stillhouse Lake series. This is an adult thriller that I gave 4 stars, and I had a really good time reading this one. The tension in this book was so good from beginning to end. There was constantly things happening. I was constantly worried about different characters based on whatever was happening to them. There were twists and turns. It wasn't anything like super mind-blowing, super unique, but I just thought it was a really well done thriller. One thing in particular that I really enjoyed about this book and this series is the mother character, Gwen. She's just such a badass and she loves her children so strongly and will do anything for them. Literally anything for them, and I absolutely love that. She's also just like really smart. She's got a lot of street smarts because she's been on the run for a while, and as someone who has like 0 street smarts, I just think it's really fun to read about characters like that. I also find all of the characters and the relationships in these books to be really realistic, which you don't always find in thrillers because, you know, in thrillers you need things to go a certain way, so sometimes I find that I feel like the author is kind of pulling the strings or forcing the characters to act in certain ways to fit the storyline or to make the story more interesting, and I never feel that way when reading Rachel Caine's thrillers. I've only read 2 of them, but out of the 2 that I've read, everything just seems so real and so natural, and it still ends up being like a really exciting, nail-biting thriller. So that one went really well, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading more in her series. I have picked up the next couple of books, both on ebook and Kindle, because they were on sale. There's actually a lot of Rachel Caine books that are on sale right now, so if you're interested in checking her out as an author, go check those sales out. And then, like I said, most of my time has gone towards reading Rhythm of War. I am still not as far into this as I would like, but I am more than halfway through. I've read this much. I'm in the middle of part 3. If you don't know, Stormlight Archive books are split into 5 parts, and parts 4 and 5 are always where things get really interesting and exciting. I will say that the first 2 parts, they weren't like super action-packed, but they were very interesting. There was a lot of world-building reveals and things that were kind of mind-blowing, and I had to like wrap my head around. And then part 3 has been a lot more action, and I'm very excited about the part that I'm in right now. I read for like an hour earlier today and I could hardly put the book down, which is good because I'm hoping to finish this in the next few days. I'm hoping to participate in a World Hoppers live stream. It'll be a spoiler live stream discussing this book, and to be able to participate I have to finish. And I have like 3 days to finish it, which sounds like a lot, but I still think I can do it. The last half of these books always go a lot faster than the first half because they're just so action-packed at the end and crazy. It's what they call the Sanderlanche. So I still have confidence that I'm going to be able to finish this by Wednesday. One of the reasons why I haven't gotten as far in this book as I would like is that over the long weekend, over the long Thanksgiving weekend, I got totally distracted by a video game, Ghost of Tsushima, which I talked about in my last reading vlog. I'm happy to say that over the last week, I've played like twice, and both times it was only for a few hours, not like 10-hour video game days like I was doing on Thanksgiving. So I'm glad that I've been able to put a halt on that just for now because I really want to finish this in time for the live stream. I will link the World Hoppers live stream in the description box because by the time this reading vlog goes up, that will have already happened. But I will also add that I am doing book diaries for Rhythm of War. So if you haven't noticed, I know I've been posting a lot of them, and for those of you who aren't reading Stormlight Archives, I apologize, but I have been trying to make them like extra videos in between my more normal content. Anyways, I've been posting these book diaries, which are basically really spoilery reading vlogs of me checking in every few chapters as I'm reading these books and telling you what I think of the things that just happened. They do tend to be kind of long, but they are very detailed, and I've just had so much fun putting those videos together. It's really fun to look back on them when I'm editing and see what I thought at the beginning of the book, like after I've already finished it, and seeing what my predictions were and how I was right or how I was wrong. It's a lot of fun, and I know the few people that are able to watch those who have read these books really enjoy them. Anyways, my point is I'm doing those for Rhythm of War as well, so if you are also reading Rhythm of War, definitely keep an eye out for those. I was hoping I'd be able to post all 5 of the Rhythm of War book diaries before the end of the month, but looking at my upcoming video schedule, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to squeeze it in, unless I can just like magically start posting every day, which let me tell you is not gonna happen. It looks like they're probably gonna spill over into January. And then I have one more thing that I am reading that I actually can't tell you about. I have never done like a secret TBR before, and this isn't really a secret TBR because it's literally just one book, but a bunch of the World Hoppers got together and decided to do kind of like a Secret Santa thing, except that we're not necessarily buying each other's books. Instead, we were randomly assigned another World Hopper, at least the people who were interested in participating, and we had to go and research that booktuber and find out what some of their favorite books were and pick one of their favorite books to read. And then from there, everybody is going to make like a review video of that booktuber's favorite book, and we're all going to post them on the same day on December 21st, I think. So I can't tell you who my Secret Santa World Hopper is. You're just gonna have to wait until that video comes out on the 21st. And I can't tell you what the book is or what I think of it, but I have started it just barely. I think I'm like 10% into it, and I'm really nervous because I know this is, you know, my friend's favorite book, or at least one of their favorite books. And I don't want to hate it, but I also don't know if I'm gonna like it. I did already have it on my TBR, so I'm hopeful. It was one that I was wanting to read, but I am nervous about it. It is a little bit outside my comfort zone. But I can't tell you any more about that. The video that I'm posting about it on the 21st will be kind of like a reading vlog / review, because I'm planning on checking in a few times while reading. Since I can't include it in my normal reading vlog, I still kind of wanted to capture some of my in-between thoughts. So you're just gonna have to wait for that video to find out what I'm even talking about. Alright guys, that is my update for what I've been reading over the last week. I hope you guys have been having a good reading week, and I will see you guys next week for another check-in. Hey guys, so it has actually been a week and a half since my last check-in. I last checked in on like Sunday, December 6th, and today is Thursday, December 17th. I definitely meant to do this check-in a few days ago, but I don't know, I've just been struggling a little bit with having energy to film lately, so it is what it is. Sometimes I go through really productive times when it comes to booktubes, and sometimes I feel a little more lazy and feel like just playing video games and watching TV. I have been playing a little bit of Ghost of Tsushima, not that much, but a little bit. And then over the weekend, I was talking with my friend Elle from Elliot Brooks, and she and her husband had just binged an anime. She messaged me like on Saturday night, or maybe it was Sunday morning, and was like, oh my gosh, you have to watch The Promised Neverland on Netflix because it is like the best anime I've ever seen. And it's funny because the night before I had been going through her recommendations that she'd been sharing on Instagram, like ones that people were recommending to her. I was going through her Instagram stories and like adding them all to my Netflix, and I had seen The Promised Neverland, but it hadn't shown up in any of the recommendations people had given her, so I hadn't marked it, but I was like, that one kind of looks interesting. So when she said that she had binged all of it in like one sitting and that they had really enjoyed it, I was like, I think I need to watch this. And it was only 12 episodes of like 20-25 minutes each. So then I spent a good chunk of my Sunday just binging The Promised Neverland, and oh my gosh, it was so good. So if you like anime, I definitely recommend checking it out. I mean, I don't really like anime. I haven't watched enough of it to really say that, but it was so good. Elle already put up a review on it, so if you want to get an idea of what it's about and what it's like, definitely go check out her review. But I went into it pretty blind. She recommends going into it pretty blind, and I really loved it. It is definitely a little dark, so it's not like a kiddie anime, which for me is really good. I don't necessarily love watching like shows for kids, so that was one of the things I liked about it, but it was really good, and the art is beautiful. I just love the animation, and storyline was so good. It was really good. So I didn't film it all over the weekend, and I didn't read as much as I would have liked, which is something that I always say. I'm never reading as much as I would like, but I am reading. So since my last check-in, I finished Rhythm of War. I was saying in that last check-in that I had like 40% of the book left, which considering it's like a 1,200 page book, that was a lot of pages. But I needed to finish that book before Wednesday night because over on the World Hoppers channel, we were doing a spoilery live show. And I did it. I read the rest of that book within the next 3 days, and I joined for the live show, and I got to gush and talk about all my emotions. I will definitely have the live show linked below. It is full of spoilers, so don't watch it if you haven't read Rhythm of War. If you're planning to read Rhythm of War, definitely bookmark that baby because we had some really good conversation. There was a lot of emotions, a lot of hype, a lot of discussion. It was so good. It's like 2 hours long, but it was one of the most fun things that I've done on BookTube, and partially because I loved it so much. The book, I loved Rhythm of War so much. I would say it's my favorite out of the Stormlight Archive so far. It's definitely the one that made me cry the most. I cried so much at the end of this book. I did film book diaries, so like reading vlogs while I was reading it. I'm a little embarrassed to say that there are tears in those book diaries, and I'm gonna be a little bit embarrassed when I post them. But you know what? That book gave me a lot of emotions. I had a lot of feelings about multiple things, and it was really good. I mean, I'm a Sanderson fan. I don't want to overhype it for other people, but just being honest with you, it was my favorite Stormlight Archive book. I loved it so much. It made me cry. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life for 3 more years while we wait for the next one. And Rhythm of War kind of put me in a little bit of a book hangover. I'm pretty good about not getting stuck in book hangovers. I just keep reading and eventually things start to stick. But I did have a sense of loss after I finished Rhythm of War because it was just so good and it left a hole in my heart. And I've spent so much time with these characters because, you know, I binged all 4 of the books within the past like 4 months, and so I left a little hole in my heart. I'm gonna miss them until the next time I get to revisit them, which will be probably in like 2 years whenever I'm ready to reread in preparation for the next book to come out. Okay, so Rhythm of War out of the way. I also talked about in my last clip a secret book that I'm reading, that I'm still reading. I need to finish it in the next few days, and I am about 60% through it. By the time you see this video, you won't have to wait very long to find out what the book is, because I'm filming this and posting this reading vlog later than I had planned, but hopefully I'm still posting it before my actual Secret Santa video. If not, it's gonna seem so silly that I had to talk about it like it was a secret, but my plan is to post this before the secret is revealed. Anyways, I'm about 60% through my Secret Santa book, and I'm still enjoying it. I'm not like head over heels in love with it, but I don't hate it, which I was worried I would hate it, or like strongly dislike it, and I don't, so that's good. I am enjoying it. It's keeping my interest. I'm finding it entertaining. I want to know what happens next, especially after like the little bit that I read last night I thought was particularly interesting, and I'm just curious to see where it goes. I don't think it'll be a favorite for me. Like right now it's sitting at a solid 4 stars, but who knows? We still got about 40% of the book left, so we'll see where it goes. And then the last thing that I am currently reading is Abaddon's. Oh, I always say the name of the book wrong. I think it's Abaddon's Gate. Usually I say Abaddon's Gate, but I'm pretty sure it's Abaddon's Gate. And this is by James S.A. Corey. This is the 3rd book in the Expanse series. I did start this book earlier this year, and I put it down not because I wasn't enjoying it. I was just going through a really rough time in my life, and I just couldn't read it at that point, but I really wanted to read it before the end of the year. My friend Rachel from The Shades of Orange is doing a reread of this series right now. It's one of her favorite series, and she's doing a reread right now because the last book in the series, which is the 9th book, is coming out in 2021, in October of 2021, and so she's been rereading the series, and I want to try to keep up with her. She reads a lot more than I do and reads fast, so I'm already behind, but she is doing a series of videos on her channel, like spoilery videos for these books that I want to watch, and she's already posted her spoilery video for Abaddon's Gate, and so I wanted to read this before the end of the year so that I could watch that video and try to keep up with her as she reads the rest of the series, because I also would like to read the 9th book when it comes out, or at least close to when it comes out. So that's one of my goals for next year, is to catch up on this series so I can read the new book when it comes out in October. And I say goals lightly. I'm actually not setting any goals for next year. Every year, one of my like annual videos that I do is like I review the goals that I had for the previous year and set goals for the next year. And I decided for 2021 I'm going to scrap that video for my like yearly videos, partially because 2020 was such a crappy year and I don't know how many of my goals I really met, and I just don't really want to revisit them. And 2020 has also just shown me that you never really know what's going to happen. And so next year I don't think I want to set any goals. I just want to read what I want to read and do what I want to do and not think about it. So I'm not setting official goals, but I am hoping to keep up my momentum with this series, which has been a very slow momentum so far, but I want to speed it up so that I can catch up with the end of the series and catch the last book around when it comes out in October. Anyways, that was a lot about nothing. This bookmark's not in the right place. I am 196 pages into this, about this much. I haven't updated it on my Goodreads, so I can't really tell you a percentage. Like maybe 30%? Sounds about right. This is going pretty well. The beginning was a little bit slow, but honestly, it didn't take very long for a storyline to be introduced that really piqued my interest, and I was like, what? What is that about, and where is that going? And then it just got going. So I'm very excited about this. The part that I've been reading just over the last couple of days has been pretty intense and exciting. Just like the other Expanse books that I've read so far, which is only 2, you have some core characters that are the same, but then you also get introduced to some new characters, like new POVs. And the 2 POVs there's 3 POVs I've been introduced to so far. One of them I'm not that interested in, but the other two are women characters that I'm definitely finding interesting. I am kind of missing two women characters that were in the second book that I loved, and I don't know if they're going to show up in this book. They haven't yet, and if they do show up, it doesn't seem like they'll be, central to the story. Anyways, I've been finding this to be really exciting and interesting, and I have been itching to get back to it over the last few days because, like I said, over the last few days, what I've been reading has been really exciting and intense. But I have been distracted by my secret book because I'm trying to finish that by this weekend because I have to get a video done for it. So that one, my secret book, has been my priority, and this has been my secondary book. But as soon as I finish my secret book, I'm definitely going into this full force because I gotta know what's gonna happen. Alright guys, those are the things that I'm reading right now. I hope you are having a good reading week. I hope you enjoyed hearing about what I've been reading. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys have been reading and if you've been enjoying it, or if you have any thoughts on things that I'm reading. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more bookish content. That is all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bookworms, keep reading.